Hi, my name is Angela. I'm one of the health coaches here, and we're going to take a couple minutes to talk about your smoking. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Okay. Can you tell me, what does a typical day look like for you when it comes to your smoking?
So I smoke about a pack a day. I do it right when I wake up in the morning. I usually have one with my coffee at breakfast time, on my commute to work. I don't smoke at work at all, and then after work on my commute home.
So it sounds like you smoke about a pack a day, and you smoke pretty much throughout the day when you wake up, coffee, but not at work, but you smoke when you come back from work.
Yep.
All right. And so what do you like about smoking?
It's relaxing. I have a really high stress job, so it kind of prepares me for that stress, and then afterwards it helps me de-stress from it. It's also a time I'm not around my kids, so because they can't be around me while I'm smoking, it's like a peace of mind type thing as well.
Okay, and what do you not like about smoking?
Oh, I feel like it makes me a little bit more lethargic and kind of lazy. I don't know, maybe it's because my breathing's a little bit harder now that I'm not as active as I used to be.
So it sounds like although smoking, relaxes you because you experience a lot of stress throughout the day, there are several things that you don't like about smoking. It makes you feel lethargic, it affects your breathing, you're not as active as you were before, and you kind of feel a bit lazy and tired. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to quit smoking?
About a 2.
Okay, so why a 2 and not an even lower number like a 0?
Well, I guess because there's like all that information out there saying how bad smoking is for you. So like a small part of me knows I shouldn't be doing it, but I don't know, it's not like a main focus of my life to quit right now.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that if you decided to quit smoking, you could be successful?
Like a 4.
Okay, so why a 4 and not a lower number like a 0?
Oh, because I know that if I tried to quit, then I'd have a better chance of actually doing it. I think right now I'm just not actually trying to quit.
So it sounds like you know that it's important for you to quit. You found information online or maybe from your friends. You know how it can affect your health, and it seems like you are worried about your health. And you also said that you're fairly confident that you can quit. You're around the middle because you know that if you put your mind to it, you can succeed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Great. So what did your doctor prescribe for you to help you quit?
Oh, he gave me the patch and the gum.
So what do you already know about the patch and the gum?
I know that you can put the patch on you all day, and it's supposed to, I think, give you nicotine. And then I know the gum is something you just chew for when you have like a short-term craving.
Okay. So is it okay if I share some information about them?
Yeah.
Okay, so they can actually triple your chances of quitting smoking. And the reasons why it's so hard to quit is because of nicotine withdrawal symptoms. And these products will actually help alleviate some of the nicotine withdrawal symptoms. And it is safe to smoke while you're on these products, okay? All right, so let's discuss how to use them. So for the patch, you're absolutely right. You wear them all day. You put one on in the morning, and you can either take it off before you go to bed or leave it on overnight. If you do leave it on overnight, you might experience some weird dreams. That's a common side effect. So if that does happen to you, you can just take it off before you go to bed. And an important thing is for you to rotate where you put the patch because it can irritate your skin. Okay? And then the gum. So there's a special way to chew the gum. It's called the chew and park technique. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So what you do is you put the gum in your mouth and you chew it a couple of times, and you'll feel this tingling sensation. So that's the nicotine being released. Then you park that between your gum and your cheek, and that's how the nicotine enters your bloodstream. So if you don't park it, it really doesn't work that well.
Okay.
After the tingling sensation goes away, you chew it a couple more times to release more nicotine. You park it again, and you do this for 30 minutes.
Okay. Does anything bad happen if you continue to chew it?
I know some patients have said that they get like an upset stomach, and that it just doesn't work quite as well. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Great. So we talked about the patch and the gum. What do you think about that?
They sound interesting. The fact that it triples my chances, I didn't think about that. So I guess I'll consider using them now.
So it sounds like with this information, you are interested in trying them out because they can help you quit smoking.
Yeah.
Great. So can I share with you another tip that helped others quit smoking?
Sure.
Okay, so a lot of people find it helpful to set a quit date. So that's a date within 2 to 4 weeks from now where you completely stop smoking. And 2 to 4 weeks is the recommended time because it gives you enough time to really mentally and physically prepare beforehand. Is this something you're interested in doing?
No. I don't think I'm ready to set a quit date. I don't want to set one and miss it and then kind of fall off from trying to quit altogether. Don't want that to be disappointing. So maybe at my next appointment I can set a quit date.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So it sounds like you're not really ready to set a quit date right now, but you're considering it maybe a couple weeks from now or a month from now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then can we talk about some of your smoking triggers? So these are things that cause you to smoke. So what causes you to smoke?
Oh, probably my job.
Okay, so stress from your job. Okay. Anything else that causes you to smoke?
I think sometimes just needing some alone time for my family too. So I feel like when I want to step away from them, I go out and smoke as well.
So when you kind of feel overwhelmed by your kids and, taking care of your family, you want a little break and you go outside and smoke a cigarette?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. So it sounds like most of these are stress related. It seems that stress seems to be a big trigger for you. So what do you think you can do instead of smoking the next time you're stressed?
I don't know, maybe just go for a walk or step outside. I don't know what to do. I can't really think of many things to do before work though, because it's such a busy time of the morning.
So it sounds like you already have some good ideas about how you can manage your stress. Like you said, going for a walk instead of smoking. But you also mentioned that you're a little bit hesitant about what to do in the morning since there isn't a lot of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I share with you a technique that can help you with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a flyer. This is called the 4 Ds. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, so this is a technique you can use the next time you're feeling stressed or you just feel a craving coming on and you want to curb that craving. So the first D is delay. So just wait, pause, think about what you're doing, and try not to automatically reach for that cigarette. And then another D is deep breathing. So inhale and exhale slowly. Repeat that 3 times. Another D is drink water. So drink water very slowly and then just let it linger in your mouth. And then the last D is distract. So do something that gets your mind off of stress, that gets your mind off of smoking, and by then your craving should be gone. What do you think about that?
That sounds good. One question, when I'm delaying, is it I'm delaying from cigarettes or am I delaying from nicotine? Am I allowed to use my gum then, or am I allowed to use these nicotine replacement treatments, or is this separate from those things?
Right, so this is, kind of a template you can use for whatever, but for your specific situation, I think you can use the nicotine gum because right now you're trying to curb the cravings to reach for a cigarette.
Okay, okay. That sounds good.
Okay, great. So we talked about a lot of your smoking triggers, being overwhelmed at your work and overwhelmed with your family. It seems like a lot of them really link to stress, so stress is your biggest smoking trigger. And we talked about some strategies to deal with your stress. So the next time you're stressed, instead of reaching for a cigarette, you can go for a walk, or you can use the 4 Ds. What is that? How does that sound?
Those sound like good things to do. They sound like they're just good things to incorporate into my life in general. So
great. So let me just summarize what we talked about today, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you smoke about a pack a day, and you smoke pretty much throughout the day. And you like that it relaxes you because you're kind of stressed throughout the day, but you don't like that it makes you feel really tired. It makes it difficult for you to breathe. And you know that from information you found elsewhere that it's bad for your health. And you're confident that if you put your mind to it, this is something you can do and you will succeed. So Dr. Cohen prescribed you the nicotine patch and the gum, and we discussed how to use them. Right now you're not ready to set a quit date, but you'll think about it and we can revisit the topic later. actually something to keep in mind is that you can use these nicotine products right away. You can continue smoking while using these products. You don't need to wait until a quit date, and it'll actually help you quit.
Okay, that sounds good.
And we also talked about your smoking triggers, which is stress, and talked about some strategies to deal with them. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that does.
Great. So would you like us to give you a follow-up call in a couple weeks to see how you're doing?
Yeah, that sounds like it'll be good.
Great. What's the best number to reach you at?
216-844-1510.
Okay, great. And what's the best time of day?
Probably in the afternoon.
Afternoons, okay. Any day?
Any day.
All right. So we'll give you a follow-up call in a couple of weeks in the afternoon to see how you're doing. And before you go, we have something for you. This is your journey to quitting tobacco. So on the bottom is when you feel ready, a place where you can write your quit date. And I will quickly walk you through this, but you can fill this out on your own time at home. So when you're quitting smoking, it's important for you to remember the reasons why you want to quit smoking and the benefits of quitting smoking. For you, it sounds like your health. You're concerned about your health and you want to live a long, healthy, happy life, and smoking is getting in the way of that. To help you quit, you can make some changes at home or at work. When you feel ready, you can start removing tobacco from your house, from your work, slowly over time when you feel comfortable. And nicotine withdrawal symptoms are common, but they only last about 10 minutes before they start to go away on their own. So if you find ways to distract yourself, these cravings will go away by themselves. You can brainstorm some ideas of what you can do. Maybe the 4Ds might be a good thing you can try here. And this seems very applicable to you. Life can be very stressful. It sounds like stress is your number one smoking trigger. And stress is actually the number one reason why people return to tobacco use. So developing a plan to deal with your stress in a healthier way can help you stay smoke-free so you don't go back.
Okay.
Okay, how does that sound?
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks to see how you're doing, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for me right now?
I do not.
All right, well, it was so nice meeting you, Miss Fran.
Nice meeting you. Okay, so this is probably an atypical patient. They're a heavy smoker. They weren't ready to set a quit date. They didn't think it was that important. They were kind of confident, and then they weren't even sure if they were going to use their tobacco cessation products. So this will probably be the hardest patient you'll get, an example of a very hard patient. And so we're just going to go over some techniques that Angela used to kind of get us back on track and to make sure that we could continue to follow the script. So one of the early things she did was importance. If you have a 2 importance, it's still very important to ask why not a lower number, because then it forces them to pick something that's like important for why you would want to quit smoking, or to even acknowledge that smoking's not good for them. And if you can get that out of them, then you can kind of focus on that as you move the conversation along. What are some other things you did?
Yeah, so, Courtni wasn't ready to set a quit date. So it's really important not to force them to set a quit date. What we did is, I pretty much emphasized her autonomy. I said, it's okay, it's up to you, the decision is up to you, and we can revisit this topic later when you feel more comfortable. So, maybe these next couple of weeks, she'll probably think about it, and then when we revisit the topic, she'll be a little bit more open-minded.
All right, and then another thing that Angela did really well is after each part of the conversation, she would ask me, what do you think about that? That's really important because sometimes you're talking to people and they're just trying to get out of there, or they're not really, or you're saying a lot of information and you want to make sure that they're understanding what you're saying and that there's comprehension, and it allows them a space to ask questions, because if you're doing a lot of talking, they might not want to interrupt. So what do you think about, how do you feel about that? Do you have any questions? Those are important things to just kind of add into the conversation just for comprehension's sake.
And then in most of my summaries, I pretty much focused on the positives, like the strengths. Even though she was a 2, I picked out what were the reasons that were important to her. Even though she was only a 4 for confidence, I still picked out the reasons that were important for her. So really focusing on the positives, the strengths, and the values, rather than lingering on the difficulties and the challenges. And I think that helped.
Yeah. So the most important thing is to just try to keep, even if you come to a roadblock, to just pivot and try to keep the conversation flowing, because when you get all the information out there, it allows the patient to really see a full picture of what they're smoking, the effects of smoking, and then what's available to what's available to them so that they can quit. And if you allow the conversation to halt, you won't be able to give them valuable information. So just kind of try your hardest to keep it flowing.
Yeah. You guys can do it.